Hey folks, Wandering Kid here, and welcome back to my playthrough of SpaceChem. In this episode, we'll be taking on Gasworks Park. Now, Gasworks Park has a challenge. The challenge is to complete Gasworks Park in 2,700 or fewer cycles. So here's our challenge. We have water, and we have some form of carbon. It's coming out in different formats. And we have to build out methane and carbon dioxide. Hint number one. The obvious problem on this board is dealing with the carbon. The not so obvious part of the carbon is that you're going to want to split it in two ways. Second hint. Your water ratios are correct once you're done with the carbon. Third hint. When you're dealing with the carbon, notice that you can grab them in different locations. So you can use that to help figure out which one you have. Alright, so let's get going. Now the first thing to realize is on carbon, they're actually not laid out that differently from each other. If you take a look at it and you bend it in your head, the first carbon is simply an L. The third carbon is an L with a longer piece, if you flip it over. And the middle carbon is similar to the longer piece, just it doesn't have the L component. What does this mean? It means that if we break it down, the minimum pieces we're going to have are 3. We'll probably have 4, but we need to figure out how to grab it. That's going to be step 1. Do I want a super bonder or a sensor? I'm not sure that it matters so much, so let's play with the super bonder. You'll notice I'm not grabbing a sensor reactor. We don't need it. So the key to this is, how do you break this up? Well, let's start with some basics. If we bring red in, here, and we do a grab here, we know that if this is grab something, we have this one. Excellent. Now, since we have it there, this is what it comes in looking like, right? Let's move these out of the way for the moment. Okay, well that's simple enough. Now, if I come down this way and I turn it once, whoops, like so, it ends up looking like this when I get there. Now, that's not particularly helpful. However, what is helpful is if I did it this way, it would look like this. Look familiar? So if I've grabbed it that way, I'm going to come up this way. And if that's not the one I grabbed, I'm going to grab this one. Now the question is, should I grab it in the middle, or should I grab it on the edge? With the way I've got this, I think I'm going to want to grab it in the middle. So I'm going to move everything here down by 1. So now I've got it by the middle, and I've come up here. If I grab this one, I'm all straightened out. At this point, I've either got a carbon that looks like this, or one that looks like that. Finally, we're going to have the last of the possibilities will be this carbon. Now, I've already grabbed this one, so I can't grab this one. At this point, I look like this. This isn't what I want it to look like. See, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have it looking like this, or like this, coming in for this grab. And the reason for that is so that I can try and keep my lineup straight. Okay, so what if I rotate this way? What if I just roll it over? I'll just put it back to defaults. So now I'm coming into this grab with this item looking like this. So now if I grab here, I will have one of 3 configurations coming through at this point. I will either have, it will look like this, it will look like this, or it will look like that. Now we're going to start shredding our carbon off of it. So what first thing I want to do is I'm going to want to rotate it this way so that I can start feeding it into a disassembler. Let's get these out of the way. Now my objective on this is twofold. First, I want to break this down to simply the 2 atoms that will be on the edge over here. Now remember, at this point, I will look like this, right? So I'm going to want these 2 atoms. I should look like this, so I'm going to want these 2 atoms. Or I will look like this, and I'm going to want these 2 atoms. At that point, it's just a matter of stripping off what's left. So now we're going to involve blue. I'm going to start blue this way because I can. First thing I need to do is tell blue I'm coming in. Hi blue, we're here. Then I'm going to have red stop here for a second. We're going to have blue do an unbond, and we're going to have it do an out on psi. So at this point, we know we're going to be shipping a carbon there from this point. Now, blue's going to tell red it can go, and red's going to stop again. And that's going to, again, do a unbond and an out. Let's take a look how this looks so far. I come in, can't grab. Rotates don't cost me anything because I don't have anything grabbed yet. I grab that, I twist it, I sink. I need to move my sinks over by 1, actually. So let's slide these over by 1. So we've synced, we've unbonded, we've outed. Now we come back in for the next sync, unbond, and it's trying to ship, but I don't have long enough pipes. Just so we have some room to play with. Okay. I forgot this would be in the way. Actually, reset the pipe. Move that down by 1, move you in there. Okay. At that point, we've stripped it down. Right? Okay, great. However, when we've gotten into this point, we may still have... Oh, I can't move anything. We may... It's possible we'll still have a atom up here, so we don't want to hand off the rest of the C2 yet. So at this point, I need to take off the nub that's may or may not be on top. So red's come through, it's synced again. We're going to tell red it can go. Red's going to come along here and hang out for the sync. Now blue needs a gap for an unbond and another out. So it'll look like this. Gets rid of 1, gets rid of the second. We come down here. Now, if we had a nub up here, we'd remove it and ship it out. So now we're going to have blue go. We're going to have blue go this way. Red, we're going to have do a drop. And come back through. Now blue, when it comes back down, let's see if I can shorten this up any. Just if I can sync it. Oh, it's actually I can. I'm just going to move things around slightly. So we're going to move all of these up by 1. Put you back down by 1. Oops. There we go. So on the end of that sink, it will do a grab, and we're going to need 2 more of these, and I'll need to decide where I'm shipping carbon out. Let's do it there. When we come by, we'll do an unbond. We'll do an out on omega. We'll come up, we'll do a drop. And we'll do another out on omega. So we'll be shipping carbon from that position. There. So let's see how this goes for the first couple of entries. That goes. We drop off the 2 on the bottom. That gets an out. It's ready for the resync. Now, notice we picked up the first of the possible carbon entries. Now this is going to stall out a little bit. It's stuck again. Now it's going to get rid of its nub. Ships it. They switch. And we go through again. Now we just need to see... There we go. Now we've picked up the third option, and yes, I grabbed it a little late, but we flipped it round. So we're coming through, we rotate it. Once again, we've got our nub. Our second sink from the 4 drop removes the one on the right. That removes the one on the top. We swap it through, and we kick it through. So we're building up carbon. That looks good. Excellent. Next up, we're going to have to split water. No, water doesn't matter which reactor I use. So with water, one of the things we're going to want to do is, just because I happen to know how this build needs to go, we want to put H here. Right there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play with water a little bit here. Put blue out of the way a second. I'm going to have red start here. Do an in, grab it, bring it up, unbond once, and we're going to sink. And we're going to have blue do a chaser. So it's been unbonded. Blue can now grab. Okay, so they chase each other through. I come up. I unbond, which leaves me a hydrogen here and an oxygen here, but only if I rotate it. So I've got to rotate once coming through, which means I need a little room. So we're going to move this up a hair. We'll put this here. We'll put blue start here, and blue will immediately drop down to be able to come up again later. We'll sink that there for a second. So red has come through. Red will now ship out Omega and sink blue, so blue knows it's allowed to go, to come up here and drop. It will do an Omega out. I'll have it do the Psi out as well. So let's see if I got this straight. Nope, already screwed it up. That needs to be an in for beta. So that grabs it, brings it up, unbonds it. Blue's got its hands on a hydrogen. They come through. I can't do the out there yet. Once I unbond, I can't immediately come down to do the out on Omega. Oh, I see what I did wrong here. It's not an unbond. Alright, hang on. We turn it, we drop it. That was the key. We drop it, unbond it, ship Omega, then tell blue to come up, drop it, and ship Omega. It can ship Psi on its way through. There we go. That'll work better. So that drops, unbonds, ships it, tells blue to get itself going. I don't have enough piping to make this look correct. Yeah, I'll just reset the pipes. So there we go. That drops, syncs up, that goes out, that goes out. Blue comes round, ready for the next one. Drops it off, takes care of business. And ships out. Okay. However, there is one change I want to make here. I'm going to reset the pipes. I'm going to bring this up a bit so that I have a backlog of water that will build up in this pipe so that I never have to wait for cycles to put a new one in the pipe for me. In theory, it won't be an issue, but it might save me a few along the way. So, I'm going here. I'm getting oxygen here. And I'm getting hydrogen here. Simple enough. Now, we need to build two things. We need to send out carbon dioxide and methane. Let's take care of carbon dioxide. So we have carbon here. We need to get oxygen attached to it. If I'm attaching that pipe, I may want to put it up here. Actually, I do. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move this entire structure up by one. I'm gonna put carbon there. And now I have this right here. This should be fun. Watch this. So on red, we're going to bring in an alpha, bring in a beta. We're going to come up. This needs a little more room. Oops. Guess we're going to do one bond. We're going to grab it. Ah, I know what I want to do. We're going to do one bond, we're going to grab it. We're going to bring in another oxygen. We're going to come across, we're going to bond again. And then everybody will double bond. And what's the easiest way to drop this off? Actually, rotating it once will make my life a little easier. Drop it. Ship it. And we're good to go. So, let's see how this one works. Let me pop out. Let this break down a bit. Oh, crap. I need to extend this pipe because I don't have the full construction ready. There we go. So, we ship one carbon. We ship a second carbon. I don't have enough room for my oxygen. For my hydrogen, which will need to come up here at some point. There we go. Okay. So we've gotten one oxygen in. We're waiting on our carbon. There's our carbon. We bring in another oxygen, bond it. Now we're double bonded. Drag it round, drop it off, ship it out, and away we go. Now I'm going to sync this up so that we can double it out. And I'm going to build blue the same way. So there we go. Blue will hang out, waiting for red to finish up. And then it's going to start its process while red hangs out back here, waiting for blue to finish up. This may be overkill. I don't know if we're actually going to get enough processing speed to make this worthy, but it's worth hoping. The big problem is getting the oxygen split off fast enough. So our final component is to build out methane. And this, I'm going to use a neat little trick for it. So we've got hydrogen here on the edge. And what we need to do is build methane, which is CH4. Now, I'm going to put blue into a permanent bonder. Red's going to start here. It's going to come in. It's going to do a grab. It's going to come down this way. We're going to do an in on beta. We're going to do another in on beta. We're going to rotate it. Then we're going to bounce back up. Oop, I wanted a sensor reactor here. My bad. Now, the reason putting the hydrogen up here was important is because otherwise I wouldn't have the room to rotate down here. Come down, do an in. Bounce it back. If I detect a hydrogen there, come this way, drop it, ship it, and start again. So, let me show you how this one looks. Oops, I've got the wrong in. These need to be in beta. There we go. So, it comes in, grabs our carbon, it waits here for a B, grabs a hydrogen, comes down, grabs another hydrogen, turns around, and then goes back the way it came, looking for hydrogen. Goes out, drops it off. Now all we gotta do is hook our reactors up. Where am I outputting over here? Top one. So, the biggest part of this solution is just figuring out how to get this carbon split out. That's your biggest problem. Once you've got that, it's not too difficult. From there, it's just dealing with unique carbon atoms and using this as its own splitter. This builds our methane, that will build our CO2. And this splitter, believe it or not, this water splitter, is our biggest slowdown in the entire construct. This is our bottleneck here, is getting this stuff out as quickly as possible. And if you notice, red pretty much never stops. It just never stops. Blue's pretty much synced up to be ready just as it comes back through. But there's not really a way to speed this up and put things in useful positions. We could speed it up slightly by putting it against this wall, but that breaks a lot of downstream things. And would save us a whole 2 cycles of back and forth. Not really a critical component. So the result of this will be 1,227 cycles. We definitely blew past the challenge for Gasworks Park. And that opens up 2 different things. The challenge for Top. I'm not sure. It's the name of an older game that basically had everything to do with circuit creation. And our defense mission, which is More Than Machine. My next episode will be on the challenge for Top. I'm going to have fun saying that name. But other than that, that should be it for this episode. If you've enjoyed, please leave a comment or a like. They're always appreciated. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.